I don't know any other way.
Don't know any other way but this, the Undrafted way.
Welcome to the Undrafted Uncensored cast of pod. Hosted by Nick Archuleta. Mosted by Colin Zanger. And last but certainly is least, Joseph Goodwin.
Welcome in everyone to the Undrafted Uncensored, where we know dome stadiums have controlled weather, so the snow will not affect the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Welcome
to
the Undrafted Uncensored, where we know which stadiums have domes.
Speaking of dome guys, I had a really good weekend. No, I thought you were going to start with the dome debate after the two weather games that we had over the weekend that were pretty intense. A lot like
I figured that was just going to play into it anyway.
Yes,
but
I didn't realize that you were going the Todd Bowles. Yeah, do you care about the weather in Detroit?
Yeah. How's the weather going to affect you this weekend? It's a dome.
Yeah.
See, if that was like Mike McDaniel, he would have messed with her and been like, "Oh man, that indoor weather, it's going to affect us so much." You know, it always affects us whenever we play indoors. It's
swirling winds.
It's just that it's too perfect and it throws you off. You know. Something along those lines. Todd Bowles is just too honest and nice. He's just he almost didn't even want to say anything to like not make her feel bad.
Yeah, but he debated.
Yeah, but he had to. He had to be that guy. Also, I always want to say his name like Bob Dole in Family Guy.
Yeah, Bob Dole.
Todd Bowles.
Bob Dole.
He debated longer on that question than it took Mike Tomlin to walk out when he was asked about his future with the Steelers.
Yeah, dude, that was the
funny story. I was going to start the show with that one until the weather question came up. Because I was going to say Undrafted Uncensored, where we won't talk about our contract either if we have a year left.
I
loved it. It was perfect, Mike Tomlin. So
or just throw it at one of us, you know, and be like, "Welcome to the Undrafted Uncensored, where Joe has a year left on his," and I'll just.
You know, the other exit thing you could say is that that we don't kiss each other like Bob Kraft and Bill Belichick.
Oh, God, dude.
But only because when we're sick.
Yeah, I didn't realize
lots of
Italian name
between us when we're not
you
sick,
do that.
You know?
I don't understand what's up with that man. He's kissed Tom Brady. He's kissed Bill Belichick.
Did he kiss Tom Brady's son?
I don't want to know. That sounds criminal.
Oh, I was gonna say probably if he had a chance, but I don't want to throw an accusation like that out there.
Yeah, because that's illegal.
because that is illegal.
Yeah, don't do that.
It's almost like overdosing on drugs in your own house.
Yeah, don't do that either.
Too soon?
Yeah.
Oh, hi.
Jim
Irsay.
Jim Irsay has entered the chat.
Yeah.
And that is our undrafted PSA for the day. Don't overdose on drugs and don't kiss other people's kids.
Drugs are bad, okay?
Kids will get you in trouble, okay?
Drugs are bad, okay?
Oh,
man.
Well, lots of funny shit has happened the last few days.
It's been a funny.
I didn't realize how loaded it actually was of a good few days of comedy. Like we've sent stuff back and forth, guys, but there's been some gold that we'll hang on to for a while.
Oh, dude,
yeah.
And like I think number one for me is the DraftKings Jim Mora commercial.
Oh yeah,
dude. It's phenomenal. They should have waited for the Super Bowl and like put a little bit better writing into it. Like just make that thing the tits and put it out on because like that's so good. I thought he was dead. I didn't like look it up or anything.
I did too.
But there must have been some like false report out there that caught us because I swore Jim Morris Sr. was passed away. And like, I'm now really happy that he is alive and can say playoffs.
Oh man!
Like this is great. Playoffs. Anyway,
let's dive into those playoffs. The only game I really enjoyed was, other than the Packers and Cowboys, because I just love what the Cowboys just.
How about them Cowboys?
I liked that Buccaneers game because it showed. I think that one's my favorite because it showed everybody that Baker's not as bad as they want him to be.
Hey, as the Baker believer here, or the long-standing Baker believer,
sure.
It was. Speaking of more funny moments, him in the water bottle in that game. He is just amazing. He is just one of those. He's just one of the guys, and you can tell he loves playing football. He's a little idiotic. That's probably why I like him so much. He has some crazy moments. His helmet-to-helmet end-of-game taps in Carolina, I want to say it was last season. Like, what the hell are you doing? Or maybe that was when he was in LA. I don't know. Either way, it's like, bro, you are wild, but I fucking love it.
You know who he reminds me of?
Who?
Charlie Sheen in Major League.
Yes. Oh my God! Clip that. Wow, Joe had a baseball reference.
I know, right?
Movie baseball reference.
Well, yeah, because I'm not going to make real bit. Well, except for Bobby Bonilla. Bobby Bonilla is one of my favorite things in all of sports. But
that's a great comp. I actually really love the wild thing. He's the wild thing of the NFL.
He needs to get a fucking lightning bolt shaved into the back of his head because he would do that.
Yeah, I'm sure he would. Like, it is so fun to watch Baker Mayfield play, and that's probably actually why I like it. Not that he's a great quarterback; he's a good. I take him on the Broncos. I think
he's a serviceable quarterback that can get the job done, and I think the Browns fans were just so hard on him that getting out of Cleveland was the best thing for him.
Yeah, and for the Browns, he's very solidly mid, and I don't think Cleveland was okay with a mid quarterback because they couldn't get over where he was drafted. And like at the end of the day, just having a serviceable starting quarterback, and like it was good for him to get out of there. It's kind of surprising he got another shot because Carolina he looked bad, and then with the Rams he looked pretty good, but it was kind of like a who gives a shit kind of scenario. But that was kind of perfect for him because he could just let loose and kind of ball out and stop feeling so constrained. And I would take him on the Broncos too. I don't think that the Buccaneers let him go unless he has some kind of colossal, horrible collapse. So you're almost rooting against him in this next game so that it's easier for the Broncos to get him. But I don't know if they're able to outbid Tampa Bay, and he's built the relationships with all those people there. I think he's going to be in TB for a little bit there. But he's kind of like what we all wish Gardner Minshew could be, is just a mid quarterback, but really fun to watch. But sadly, Gardner
he's really fun to watch, but he's not quite mid.
He doesn't he doesn't have the actual skill set yet. Maybe never
not consistently mid.
Yeah, and he doesn't have the arm that Baker does. Baker's got a much stronger arm. It's not like top tier or anything, but it's solidly mid.
So speaking of, while we're on that game, is Kelsey done?
Yeah.
It seems like today he was kind of, I don't know, still debating. Like everybody's implying that he's retiring, but I don't know yet.
I think he has some of the Tom Brady pissed off. You leak this, I'll show you what type of shit in him. I think he was done. I think he was going to be over it if it didn't get out in the media. I think he's also kind of waiting to see what happens in Philadelphia with if it's Sirianni, with their coaching staff, what they're doing. What?
Yeah. Popcorn Sirianni?
Popcorn Sirianni.
You got the free popcorn?
Are you happy now? Shut up. I don't want to hear it anymore. I think he's waiting to see what happens there, but I really think he probably was done until some stuff leaked and it wasn't on his accord. Well, so I think he'll play one more year if it's still looks like they have
They can run it back one more time. Yeah.
Because I mean, they didn't have AJ Brown in this game. They had a banged up Jalen Hurts. It was not really a Philadelphia. It was a Philadelphia Eagles game of the last 5 weeks, but it really wasn't a Philadelphia Eagles team that we had seen for most of the season.
Yeah, I think you're right. It wasn't indicative of the talent and the quality of that team. But yeah, I think that kind of loss will really help kind of, like you said, piss them off and get them kind of fired up for the next season. They're probably going to need to bring in some coordinators, or those guys are going to have to really step up in the second year with the kind of familiarity or whatever they need to bring, because they just I don't know if
no good.
What's up?
Matt Patricia's no good.
He's not good. That's right. They switched. Fucking fire that guy. I forgot they brought him in second half of the year. Yeah, no, you deserve to lose to Tampa Bay at home when you bring in Matt Patricia as your defensive coordinator. Like, no, you need to bring in someone who's like, good at their job.
Well, he's always ready. He's got the pencil in the ear. He's got the clipboard.
Yeah, like the only thing worse is if you made him your offensive coordinator. Good thing nobody tried doing that, right?
Yeah, no,
right?
No genius.
Right, guys?
Right.
Speaking of no longer having a job.
Oh, man. But, yeah, no, they'll need to kind of figure some stuff out. But honestly, a seasoned coordinator can turn around an offense or a defense in 1 year. Like, that's totally doable. So if
there are a lot of head coaching decisions too. I mean, i.e., why are you playing Jalen Hurts that last game?
Yeah. Ooh, okay. Here's a scary scenario. Washington hires somebody not named Eric Bieniemy, and Eric Bieniemy now goes to Philly to be their offensive coordinator.
Oh, I want to see Bieniemy go against that media.
Yeah, like I want to see him be a head coach. I've always been advocating for him to come here and be a head coach, just deal with a little bit of the growing pains. But I think it would be a lot of fun, and I think he would figure it out. But that's all. He's one of those guys that's always kind of been fun as a CU player, and his offenses work really well. And you don't risk losing your offensive coordinator when he's your head coach. That's all I'm saying.
It's the Chiefs.
It's too late now, but because look what he did with Sam Howell and the Washington offense with some fast, relatively talented receivers, but like outside of Terry McLaurin, he got so much out of Curtis Samuel. I don't know. I think he's good. But
you mean outside of Jahan Dotson?
Yeah, Dotson too.
Terry McLaurin had a pretty good year. Dotson had a pretty down year.
Yeah, and Dotson, like he's had a couple of those, and he's only been in the league for a couple of years. He had like some good parts of the year last year, some potential, but it was crazy how they would just, spread it around. Sam Howell looked like a serviceable NFL quarterback, which I don't think he is. But, I digress. That does sound terrifying, though, if Philly can, get some quality people, some sort of also scary defensive coordinator of some sort. I'll bang the drum for Wade Phillips till the day he dies.
Oh, man, you're killing me. So 15 fans apparently suffered from hypothermia during the Bills-Steelers game.
I'm shocked.
Patrick Mahomes, it was so cold out there, had his helmet broken.
How cold was it?
Oh, dude. All right, quick story on that. I was running that game. I saved the clip of Kevin Harlan yelling, he got so hard and it's so cold that it snapped. And like he just sort of misspoke, but I have Kevin Harlan yelling, he got so hard, talking about Patrick Mahomes. And
you would catch that.
Everything is great.
Everything is awesome.
It makes me smile a whole lot. That's going on my board at the Fan. I'm gonna play that as soon as I get scheduled for another fucking training shift. Because I could run a show, but one refresher would be nice. Again, my problems aren't what matter here.
So that leads us to the ultimate question, because had the Packers played better, they would have also hosted a very cold, blustery, snowy game up there in Lambeau.
Mm-hmm.
Is it time for the NFL to require domes across the NFL?
No. Snow games are part of football. the fans in those cities love those snow games. Like they don't always love it to be there, during the regular season or during preseason if it happens to be really cold at that time of year. But it's colder around the playoffs and the Super Bowl. It's kind of a badge of honor for fans, in Kansas City, in Green Bay, in
so why can't
Buffalo?
Why can't Denver host the Super Bowl then?
Because the stadium isn't big enough. Well, because none of those cities host Super Bowls.
No, because they
because they have a dome.
Yeah,
like New York hosted one only because they got a new stadium.
Yeah, and it was that was a one-time thing.
That was the last time that they'll do one without a dome, though.
Yeah, because that's not those die-hard, angry, fuck you, take my shirt off in 0-degree weather kind of fans that you have in a lot of the stadiums in those cities.
Because you price those kind of fans out of the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Exactly. So the Super Bowl will never be in a place like that, period. That's why I think if the Broncos get a new stadium, it needs to be a retractable dome. So some days when it's cold as fuck, leave that shit open. Like, use the dome for, like, concerts.
Well, and the dome, I was going to say retractable roof is the way to go when you're building a new stadium now. Because I think the thing is that when you look at it, it sucks. We had 2 terrible games, like terrible weather games over the weekend. But KC was the 4th coldest in the history of the NFL. I mean, the NFL has been around for a long time, and this is the 4th coldest ever. So obviously it doesn't happen every year. We have this discussion every year when we have bad weather games.
Yeah.
I think the retractable dome is the way to go for all new stadiums, because I agree it should be played out in the weather, Joe. I do agree. And I think during the regular season, even into the playoffs, you have a choice to retract that dome or not. If you get home field advantage, that is your prerogative.
Oh yeah,
you do want that Super Bowl to be on the most neutral, best available neutral turf possible.
Oh yeah, well yeah, Super Bowl obviously you close it for the Super Bowl because, like I said, those are different fans. You're bringing in a whole bunch of tourists. They're not even all fans of each team. They're just hanging out.
Just Hollywood stars that have the money to attend.
Yeah,
but when you talk about certain situations in playoff games like Buffalo had and like Kansas City had, then you can make the smart move and close the dome and have it safe for everyone where, your mustaches aren't freezing. You're not sending people to the hospital for hypothermia. I mean, that can happen on their own outside of the stadium.
Yeah.
But you don't want to subject your fans to that. And, I think that hearing what happened in Buffalo, I think the game honestly might have been moved anyways, just because of like how unsafe it was actually outside.
Yeah, it was travel that was the worst part up there.
Yeah,
they canceled the Sabres game tonight too.
Yeah, there were 2 or 3 hockey games canceled that night, or maybe it was like 1 basketball and 2 hockey, or 1 basketball, 2 hockey, whatever the combo was. But there was,
I'm sure
there were other games canceled in that area because of how bad it was. So I think that the game itself, with the Bills and the Steelers, wasn't necessarily bad because they waited that day. It definitely wasn't ideal conditions, but it would have been canceled or moved regardless if they had, even if they had a dome, because who wants to sit in a playoff game that has nobody in the stands? You'd much rather have it filled with snow than fans,
Yeah.
Back to COVID again.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, cardboard cutouts.
Cardboard, South Park people. And,
Oh, man.
And I think what the Cleveland Browns have done to kind of fix this problem is kind of brilliant. It's ridiculously cold on the borders of whatever lake it is. I think it's Erie.
Lake Erie.
Yeah, totally. Okay, good. So I was right. It's just like humid and frozen and, really terrible conditions. So what they've done to combat that is just never make the playoffs. Just not host a playoff game and you don't have this problem.
Well played.
I made that joke earlier to my roommate and I was like, we're talking about weather and playoffs, I'm going to use this.
Well played.
Well, I mean, they made the playoffs, they just don't ever win their division.
Yeah.
They don't get a home game
or win the conference. Hello, 1988 and 89.
Conference division.
Yeah, exactly. Where they had to paint the dirt and they still lost to us. But we're a cold weather team to an extent. It doesn't get that terrible.
The drive or the fumble? No.
Ha!
No. I was gonna say,
that's kind of
is it just me that has Nick on a delay, or am I glitching out?
I think Nick delayed a little bit, but I think we're okay. It looks
okay,
like
good.
I feel like I'm good.
You always have to worry when you see a delay. Like, is it them or is it me?
The hotel here.
No, you're good. Yeah, it was a weird, I saw your lips move, and then I heard the drive or the fumble.
Yeah, there's a little bit of delay with your voice, but it's not as bad as it was for a second.
Stop staring at me.
I was gonna say the sphere stole all of your internet.
I can actually see it from my room.
Nice. What is it?
Like the very top.
No, wow. Do they have it lit up? Is anything cool today?
Not right now. No, they didn't when I looked out there last.
And where are you again?
Not yet. I'm at the Flamingo. I'm in Vegas.
Okay. Yeah. I don't remember if we said that also on the stream. So for the folks at home, Nick's in Vegas.
I have a work thing, so.
Sweet.
His annual trek to Vegas.
Yeah, but
you know what's funny? I'm not a big Vegas guy.
Yeah.
And I did my obligatory in and out on Monday.
Yep. There you go.
Because I had to.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not a big fan of it, it was just like I still had to go. Where else did I go? Went over to the New York last night for dinner.
Nice.
Paid $20 for a hamburger today for lunch because I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go grab that, go up to my room. $22 later after tax. I'm like, that's cool.
Thanks per diem.
That sounds
right.
I did the same thing at Twin Peaks.
Right. Oh, and then I bought these.
Oh,
that sounds fantastic.
Not a sponsor.
Hell yeah.
Oh, really? Nice.
I love this.
When I was down by the New York last night, I went to an ABC. Picked up.
Did you guys hear that blender?
Yes.
Sounds like a train.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, because sometimes there's loud stuff in the background that you guys can't hear at all, and it surprises me.
Yeah.
I think we hear it. We just ignore it.
Yeah.
No, I asked.
No,
I usually ask. You guys don't say it. You're like, no, I couldn't. I'm like, oh, cool. I don't say it.
And then I went to the Punk Rock Museum on Monday too.
Nice.
That was pretty badass.
Oh yeah, that sounds dope.
Oh, dude, it's awesome. It's worth it.
Oh, I would love to go. Yeah, I want to see.
Are there renderings of the new stadium yet?
I haven't made it to that side of the strip yet. I'll let you know tomorrow when I go to the Knights game.
Beauty.
Oh, you go to a Knights game? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be dope.
Well, what sucks is it's a law enforcement appreciation, and I didn't know it was until like Monday.
Yeah.
And all those tickets are sold out because I would have got like a cup with my ticket.
Oh, cool.
Oh, damn.
So I was like, man, I'm gonna linger around a little bit after the game. Maybe somebody leaves one behind.
Or just like go up to the guest services and flash your badge and be like, hey, so I know I don't actually have part of it. Do you guys have like any extras or whatever? Can
I was actually thinking about doing that too.
Yeah,
hey,
just like
Colorado, I was here for a training. Here's my training thing.
Here's just like, as a favor, not like a trying to flex anything or whatever. Just like, I promise I am a real cop, I'm not, but Nick is.
Here's $50.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could probably just go up to whatever booth it is and be like, so yeah, I'm supposed to have one of these.
No, they have special tickets.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, just look, you're supposed to be there.
Because when they do it here for the Avalanche every year, it's pretty locked down.
Yeah,
they're good about
it is. I'm sure they know what time of year it is out there and when they planned it for that event. But that's cool, man.
Yeah.
I've wanted to go to a Knights game, or I've actually even wanted to go to the Silver Knights, the minor league team.
Oh, down in Henderson.
Yeah.
Oh, word.
Henderson.
Yeah, it's Henderson. Yeah. We were gonna go last time when I was down.
Yeah, that's right.
And I know we never met up, but we
talked
about going.
How weird is it though too that Vegas became a hockey town?
It's
like they got the Raiders and they're still a hockey town. Like that's kind of cool that a town as like with so much money and so much tourism and all that. Like you think the flashy Raiders would be perfect, and no, they're all about the Golden Knights. I'm like, okay, fuck yeah. Also change it to the Knights, please. Golden Knights is stupid.
Well, Vegas likes winners. That's why the Knights are popular. They came in and won. The Raiders haven't come in and won shit.
That's also true.
But Nevada
if the Raiders did something.
It's a what state?
It definitely is a hockey town. It's the Silver State.
Oh yeah. But I mean, the gold. You think of gold in Vegas a lot, or like silver's like secondary. I mean, the Platinum Knights.
Yeah, it also sounds grammatically wrong to say Golden Knights. Like, wouldn't it just be Gold Knights? Or something. I don't know. It just feels.
Well, okay, we're getting too deep into a rabbit hole for starting to talk grammar.
Yeah, it just feels wrong. I don't know. It just feels like they're saying it wrong somehow. Like it throws me off to say it that way. That's why you said Knights. Because they're saying it wrong.
But yeah, it's definitely a hockey town now because even like walking around the New York, they don't have anything New York. They have, like everything in there is Raiders and Golden Knights.
Hell yeah.
Nick, oh my God. I have a mission for you while you're down there. I have to tell you off.
Text me.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I have totally forgotten about this. And okay. It's a good one. It's for a prank, but it's just in case anyone is listening, I don't want
we don't ruin pranks. We don't ruin pranks on this show.
No, but I didn't even think about you being out there. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. I'm texting you now so I don't forget.
Awesome.
All right, moving on besides my own agenda.
I'm stoked.
Yeah, well, we're on the hockey subject. So the choo-choo train is pulled into the station for some maintenance.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it. That's a really good way of putting it.
I'm not laughing at choo-choo. I'm laughing at just the fact that you guys actually found that funny.
That's a perfect pun. Like when your nickname just works perfectly for a little, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad he's getting the help now, and I think Sammy G getting the help he got, I think was what maybe Nichushkin needed to get himself some treatment as well. I wish he'd have done it a little sooner. Mostly for selfish reasons, because he has been a man on fire as of late.
Well, but also like the Avs are in the position they're in because of him kind of waiting and kind of doing that. So I'm okay with it. They're looking pretty okay right now. And so if he can, and he kind of was on fire too. So if he can, get his shit together and possibly come back by like around playoff time or so, which, may be a little tall of an ask, and maybe that's not doable. Maybe it totally works out. It's really, it depends on how bad his issues are and what he's dealing with, because everybody's different and everybody has different levels of it. Do we know for sure whether it's like alcohol or like pills, or I'm not really sure.
They don't say. The NHLPA won't announce what it is. They will just announce that they're going in for treatment.
Well, it's because it's a HIPAA medical violation.
Too,
if you do that, then
Well, I was wondering if he had said or somebody had,
No, he made his one statement. I didn't mean to be laughing or smiling at. It is a very serious situation. It's just that
for sure.
I texted Nick what we were just talking about before we got into this serious situation. But what I will say is that for someone who's been lucky enough to get sober on their first try and have stayed sober, it doesn't happen for everyone. And I'm fully aware that for me and anyone else, that it could not be. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed.
Yeah.
But what I do see and what happens a lot of times to people is that, as you said, Nick, things were going so well for Val. And sometimes when things get going so well, you don't know how else to celebrate. You don't know how else to enjoy yourself, because what you have done, especially for me, I could talk about it with alcohol, but the way that I celebrated every occasion, or the way I dealt with every disappointment, was I would go out and drink and get drunk and hammered. I mean, I would find a reason to do that every single day. But even the times that I did try, and stopped drinking personally and couldn't, it would be because I would find a reason, because the only thing I knew how to do was go out and get hammered. So for Val, I think that might have been, once again, this is my experience and my assumption is that things were going so well, and you have to rewire your brain on how to celebrate or how you can celebrate without using drinks or drugs.
Yes.
And you have to assume that it's probably alcohol because of what happened in Seattle and how drunk the girl was that was in the room with him. It's kind of puts one in one. I know a lot of people, alcohol might be the main culprit, and then there's secondary things, whether it be cocaine or mushrooms or blah 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 blah, anything else. Like, but alcohol can be the number one culprit, or it can be the other way. Like, some people only drink when they smoke weed. There are so many other different things.
For sure,
there's typically one overlying one, and for me, it feels like, as an outsider who doesn't have any inside information, Val was celebrating. He went on a bender. He was excited about the way things were going. And if you're trying to get help, like I said, you have to rewire all of those things. And I was fortunate enough to have people give me the time and the space to learn how to do those things. And it wasn't always easy, because there were times that I did want to celebrate and go have a beer. And really think that, I'll be all right. But then you have to realize, with all of the help that he's getting right now, you have to take it in and say, okay, there are better ways. There are people that I can call. There are people that I can talk to. Maybe him and Sam Gerard, who we don't know officially, once again, what Sam Gerard was in for, but you got to assume it's something similar. Maybe him and Gerard become.
Didn't Sammy G say it was alcoholism?
Maybe he did. I might have missed that, but maybe him and Sammy just
to the Google machine,
good confidants, and able to lean on each other, because it's not an easy thing to stop. And I wasn't trying to do
lifestyle change.
Yeah,
it's not even just a subtle, like a new haircut. It's a lifestyle change.
Yeah, and I'm fully aware that I'm one of those lucky ones at this point that hasn't had a relapse or anything along those lines, because it can happen to anybody at any time. It's no one's immune to this thing, but the things that make you immune to it are changing your mental mindset and changing where you set your priorities and how you act. And yes, it's a total change of mindset. It's a total change of lifestyle. And eventually, you can go into bars. I can go to games. I can do things and be around alcohol. But if I tried to do those things when I first got sober, I wouldn't have been able to without grabbing a drink, because we are such creatures of habit, good or bad. We are such creatures of habit that until we rewire our brains, we will keep doing the same things over and over again. It's like me trying to shower after I get done with a shift at the hotel from the kitchen. Just do that first thing before I do anything else. It takes a while, and I'm still not good at it. But there are things that take time to rewire, and you also have to take the necessary steps. And sometimes it means stepping away. We all hoped that it had worked at the end of the offseason for Val, and apparently it did for a while.
I don't know if he really did anything, though. I think he and his wife just kind of went back to Russia and just kind of.
Well, there's rumors that he went to rehab, because he disappeared for a few months, and no one heard from him at all. No one saw him. He could have just kind of gone on the DL and just kicked it, but he could have. The rumor is that he went to some sort of rehab facility to try to kick whatever it was. That's why I thought maybe like some kind of opioid pill type stuff, because that gets you, really overly, intoxicated, and it's extremely addictive, and something that, could be very difficult to kick, that you might need to spend more time on. But, there's people that can be just as addicted to alcohol as some people get to opioids,
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
That shit's just evil, It can be.
Then the combination of the two. I mean, I was watching a Brad Knoll documentary where, like his thing was heroin, but the drinking also was a big part of that. Like, he would use and then drink more and more and more and more, and all those things. I mean, we talk about all the people who have gone too soon. Just hope that
the Angels.
Yeah. Tyler Skaggs.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Because he was just getting wasn't it just oxys?
He wasn't. I think
he had drank that night too.
Yeah. And then he was also turning to not prescribed ones as well.
Oh yeah, so the dosages were going to be all screwed up, and
it's a scary, dangerous road. And so for Val,
don't take prescription drugs that are not prescribed to you. It's a bad fucking idea.
It is, but
tonight we've had a couple good PSAs out there.
Yeah, we're just trying to help out the kids. Don't do drugs. Yeah, do the drugs we approve of. Less pills, more mushrooms.
But yeah, I mean, just to, I think, wrap it up. If you do know anyone who needs help, or if you are someone who is searching help, I mean, reach out. I mean, I'm always available for that. I can give you resources, but reach out to someone that because somebody cares out there about you, no matter where you think you are. I mean, luckily, you don't have to be Val Nichushkin and have the Avalanche and all that money to be able to get help and to change your life around. You can do it yourself. I mean, I am a prime example. I wouldn't be sitting here today if I didn't get my help. So reach out if you are someone that's listening, to anybody around you, because there's someone around you who wants to help if you want it. And if those people around you don't want to help you, let me break some terrible news to you. They're not really your friends. Okay. Yeah. They shouldn't be part of your life if they don't want better for you, if you want to better yourself.
Yeah.
So that just putting it out there that it is a big thing. And like I said, you don't have to be Val to get help, but you can get it anywhere in any shape, form, size. There's scholarships, there's things available for you to get help. So
for sure. Don't feel bad too if you need help. Just because some people have done it by themselves doesn't mean you have to. No. Everyone does things differently. Sometimes it's better to have more people to help support you. Sometimes it depends on the person, but don't feel bad either way. Shit gets a lot of people. I had a buddy who had a horrible drinking problem by 26 years old. He was throwing up on days he couldn't afford to drink anymore. And it was, you can only do so much for people until they want to. But if you want to change, you can do it.
Joe, you didn't know me when I was 26.
I didn't. This is a different guy. And you know what? God, I hope Evan's alive right now. If you're listening out there, buddy, I hope you're doing okay.
Yeah. It happened to me a little bit later. But if you do feel like there's nobody, out there, I got you. All right, I got you. At Colin Zanker, I'll find whatever I can to help you out. But
there's all kinds of resources out there. Doesn't matter. And like you said, anybody's always willing to be a good ear. I mean, we might talk a lot, but we listen pretty well too. So hit any of us up. You can find us wherever.
Unless you're talking about how good Russell Wilson is, then I don't listen.
I wasn't.
He's moderately good.
He's solidly mid. No, he's not.
Yeah.
He's just below.
He's not. He's
Bye, guys.
Class. He's just middle class.
He's less than mid. He's not. He's
slightly below. He's slightly below. He's 10,000 below mid class.
Are we back yet?
That's pretty bad.
Is Embiid back yet?
Oh, how could he not get a triple-double last night?
You took an Embiid triple-double?
Yes, with a boost.
With the boost, that's why.
He's coming out to play against Jokic, especially after.
He only had 4 boards.
Yeah, how many assists did he have?
He had 10 assists.
He didn't get the rebounds?
He missed it by 4. He had 6 boards.
Oh, 6 boards. Okay. That must have been what he had when I sat down.
He had 4 at halftime.
Oh, okay. Man, that's rough. That's the one stat you don't expect. Well, I guess the one is points.
It's like picking CeeDee Lamb to score just anytime score, and that blows up your 5-leg parlay.
Mm-hmm.
So does anybody care anymore?
Let's see if Wembanyama has over 3.5 steals and blocks.
Or blocks.
Speaking of Embiid and Joker, does anybody really care? As fans, do we really care anymore? Because Joker's got a title. He's got the big time MVP. He has not only just the regular season MVP, he's a playoff MVP. He's a Finals MVP. He's got a ring now, and Embiid wears a Sixers jersey.
Oh, I was gonna say cut out right there at the end. Nick,
It's
I just
almost
flashed on
catching
the
up.
screen.
There it is.
I think he's back.
And
back?
we're back.
All right. So Joker's got all the hardware, and Embiid wears a 76ers jersey.
Those are two true things. Yes. And Embiid even said himself he's not worried about another MVP. He just wants to win a title and do all that. So he's not even worried about playing enough games
Well, because he doesn't have enough
get
games
the
to
MVP.
play,
So I think he's going to end up sitting enough to fucking eliminate himself from contention.
Nice.
So I think it might end up just going to Jokic, or they might try to give it to somebody young like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, or somebody just new in general. But Jokic is having another ridiculous year. So if he continues these numbers throughout the whole season and doesn't miss enough games, I think he'll end up going away with it. And I'm sorry, what did you say earlier, Nick? I didn't catch it.
Which part is it? Like, do we as fans care? Because I kind of don't anymore. Joker's got the big titles. He's got all the big hardware.
Yep.
And that's what I was saying. Embiid isn't even going to make it enough games this year to qualify for the MVP, probably.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think he's going to try to. And he's making that pretty clear now that that's not a priority. He might end up like inadvertently getting there because he plays just enough to not to Marshawn Lynch it and not get fined.
Yeah, I mean he might play just enough depending on where Philly is needing to get for playoff seeding.
Yeah.
And how the second half kind of shakes out for them. You're right, but I think also you mentioned a good point where SGA, if the Thunder can keep up what they have been doing, it's perfectly plausible that a player like that does get the award just because there's Jokic fatigue. And it's Jokic fatigue in the sense that there was all of the talk and all of the uproar last year about him not winning it and not getting 3 straight. There was that talk. And so the fatigue can come in multiple ways. It's you just being part of the conversation. And the other part can be the why isn't he just the runaway MVP part? It's like, well, yeah, of course it's Jokic. Of course he'll be in the conversation. What's he doing? Oh, he's just having another record-breaking year. Jokic, could you only do one record-breaking thing a season and then you could just be the all-time MVP? Can you find one new record instead of breaking 4 different historical marks every year?
Yeah.
And you'd win the MVP, but you just keep doing 4 different things. You got to do 5 this year and then 6.
Just never stop.
Line yourself up with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, that's and I don't know. I feel like it's more of a hot take, I guess, to not take Jokic in these talks. To be like, no, it's got to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander because that's more interesting. Because that's something people want to hear about, and all it takes too was one of these top teams to have somebody just start taking over games. Like if Giannis or Dame starts really dominating one over the other, or if Jason Tatum starts having some ridiculous games or turnaround, or somebody on the Lakers, maybe Anthony Edwards. But right now, it's pretty much Embiid, Jokic, and then I think Shai is probably third at this point. I'm not sure what the betting odds actually say. That's just my guess. But, then anybody else could run away with it if they have a better record, because right now the Nuggets have not won a ton of games. They're still well within that, top pantheon of the West is also close.
So what you're saying is put your money down on SGA.
Honestly, I think you hope SGA moves up in the polls and put your money down on Jokic.
I was gonna say, I mean, there's 2 ways to look at it. You got to hope 2 things for SGA is that you put your money down on him, and Embiid doesn't qualify.
Yep,
Embiid won't qualify
because Embiid's having the best season of all of them right now. Embiid's scoring at a ridiculous rate.
Yeah, he's at a 30-10 streak right now.
Yeah, and he's facilitating a lot more without James Harden there. Like him and Maxey are creating some shit. Like they've got solid role players now after the Harden trade. Robert Covington is a good player. I forget who else that they.
Harden was a problem.
What? No, I mean, he wasn't the problem, but they definitely found a solution. He led the league he was the reason they were so good in the regular season last year. Like, well, not the reason, we weren't, him facilitating to Embiid, leading the league in assists. And then he proved that he could have those games and go off for 40 in the playoffs. He just also showed that you should not rely on him to do that consistently in the playoffs as well.
So currently the MVP rankings are Jokic plus 230, Embiid second at plus 280, and then SGA third at plus 290.
I'm good at this.
With a very far back Doncic, Luka at plus 700.
Ooh, that's one I didn't think of. Yeah, if the Mavericks start winning a bunch of games, it's going to have to be because Luka, maybe some Kyrie for sure. But Luka and Kyrie just feels like Melo and AI to me, where it's kind of redundant,
See, and I think, too, part of the reason why Jokic didn't win his award was the end of the season last season, missing the games. And that could be, it could be a down the stretch type of run where you have, you said the Mavericks. Yeah, the Mavericks could go out and try and, need to ball out. And Luka has a great end of the season, or SGA and the Oklahoma City Thunder are fighting for the number one spot. It's crazy to think of it as it's possible that the Oklahoma City could be a number one seed in the NBA playoffs.
That's so weird.
If they go out and have
money on
great second halves, it's very possible that could happen for either of those two guys, and in particular SGA, because I think they're much more in contention than the Mavericks. I think the Mavericks are kind of paper tigers this season. So.
Oh yeah, they're going to be one of those fighting to stay out of the play-in type teams.
Yeah.
I think already at this point, aren't they? Because you've got Timberwolves, OKC, Nuggets, Clippers. Like there's no other teams are going to come above those four, I don't think, rest of the season, barring crazy injuries. And then you've got the inevitable surge of the Lakers, because they're going to end up doing something.
When is LeBron going to say these are the most important 15 games of my career?
Yeah, exactly. When do they trade for 6 people again?
After March Madness, when Bronny's done playing college basketball for the season, so he can come. LeBron can actually concentrate on his team.
Yeah, I'm glad I can focus on the Lakers now. Bronny's season's over.
Yeah, it's everything's fine, guys. We're good now. We're just gonna come back. All we need is playing. It's got to get in the playing. But yeah, like you've got, quality teams. Like Dallas is gonna end up fighting for that 5th, 6th, because Phoenix with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, maybe Bradley Beal. We'll see. Like hell, Utah has won like 12 of the last 14 or 15 games. Like they're all of a sudden on a surge because they have so many, big, tall people that can defend and shoot threes.
Yeah, Lauri Markkanen is a beast.
Oh, dude, and they're using Walker Kessler out of the corner. I was watching a video today on their offenses. They put Walker Kessler in the corner, the gigantic center. Just so that, their big can't guard the paint as much, and then he just runs in for a lob or to get a rebound or whatever. Like Utah's doing some cool shit right now. And, with Kessler, Kelly Olynyk, and obviously Lauri Markkanen, and then Jordan Clarkson's a bigger guard, and they've got, other people. I think Chris Dunn is playing the point for him right now. It's not perfect, but there's a lot of teams, man. Like Dallas is going to have to, beat a lot of people. They're lucky that the Memphis Grizzlies are so bad. I love that post I found of Memphis Grizzlies are signing Isaiah Thomas, which is not true. That is a fake account that I found that I posted a bunch of memes to our group chat about.
Lord.
Speaking of really good teams, how about that Pascal trade?
Is it official yet? Because I thought they were still working on trade. Like,
there's it's a 3-team deal.
I think it became official today.
Like it's on ESPN. Because the rumor was last night, which was the best part. That it was like it's a real rumor, but this is a fake account. But we're putting it up here. But yeah, Pascal Siakam now going to Indiana. That's scary. They now have 2 very big quality facilitators. Pascal can play in the paint. But he can also shoot. Like that's huge. And it's sort of good news for the Nuggets that he's not getting traded to the Western Conference. Like they don't have to worry too much about him as a player, but just bolstering another team somehow. We're all worried.
Somehow he goes to the Clippers.
Yeah, right. Or he goes to OKC, or
that would have been scary, actually.
Yeah, something terrifying like that. What if he goes to the dude? If he went to the Suns.
Because
he's such a good facilitator, he becomes basically the point guard for that team. But a gigantic in the paint, and also you have Nurkic to play that role like that. That sounds horrifying.
I think the Suns are just a dumpster fire. I don't know.
Oh, me too. But you have Pascal, and that all of a sudden glues everything together.
Yeah, I don't know if you can. I think you need a different type of leadership or a different type of player in that situation, because I think it's so screwed up that they're just done for. The Kevin Durant trade last year, I think was just they reek of desperation, and I think everyone knows it. And whether it's the pressure that's being put on them or the pressure that they feel, it's not a good situation to be there. So I think if he went there, I don't think it would have changed anything. But Indiana, I think
just from an X's and O's standpoint, because one of the things they miss the most is just somebody to facilitate their style of play, which Chris Paul was too slow for. Pascal kind of is perfect for that. Again, they're going to lose more depth, which they don't really have anyway, so it's not too much. I don't think they have the assets to trade for him anyway.
That's probably true.
But they need a quality defender, and they need somebody that can facilitate and get them into their offense and get people the ball. And he's great at those things. That's what he was so good at in Toronto in the playoffs years ago with Kawhi Leonard. Here you go. Give it to Kawhi. He's a really good passing big, and he's so good at so many other things. That would have worked really well for them. At the end of the day, I'm still taking the Nuggets over that team, but that's kind of the thing that they need, whether it's at the point guard position or not. They just need somebody that can, be a Draymond Green for them.
Can you imagine if this Pacers trade had happened last week and Bruce Brown wasn't able to come to Denver and get his ring?
I was actually going to say that. That would have been so sad.
Because I was just reading the article. Look, it looks like it is official.
Yeah, it's official.
I didn't see anything from Woj about making it official. The way the article or the tweet read like they were still working on a couple of draft picks or something, but
probably just pending a physical. I mean, obviously Siakam didn't play in tonight's game.
Yeah,
they did Bruce Brown.
It still says sources, which kind of means quote unquote, it's in the works. But
yeah, that's why I didn't think it was official yet. So my bad, Joe.
Yeah, I think it's one of those.
If you click on that account, it's a troll account. That account is fake. That's the best.
I know. That's why I kept sending I said the fake one and the Trump one.
Oh
fake,
for sure.
Fake.
Yeah, because for folks at home, the account that I posted these trade rumors from was totally a fake troll account, but the rumors were real. I'd seen some YouTube videos reacting to it, so I thought it was legit, and it wasn't on ESPN. So I'm like, huh. So I go on to Twitter. I'm not going to call it the other thing. And I saw a bunch of rumors about it and stuff. So I'm like, well, I guess maybe. And then I saw the fake Woj. I'm like, oh, perfect. I'm putting this in the group chat. When you tap on the actual account, it says you've been trolled, and it has the troll face. And then the last post that it had the other day or yesterday was Memphis Grizzlies sign Isaiah Thomas for the rest of the season.
Yes.
I didn't see that.
This is just awesome. I want that to really happen now. Just do it. Fuck, you can't get any worse. I want them or the Pistons or somebody sign Isaiah Thomas, please. He's so little.
You know what'll happen? I'll go ahead, Colin.
Oh no, you go. You go, Nick.
No, mine's gonna segue into the next part because I was getting ready to move on.
Mine too.
Okay, I was saying Joe can do it with the money he can win with the victory formation.
I was gonna say, real bets, but we have fake money on it.
This is the victory formation.
All right, boys, here we go. Let's play in football. 6 red tight diamond victory on 1. Break.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
The Pick'em segment, proving that Colin Zanker is the most humble man in the history of time. Least. Featuring Nick Archuleta, wishing he was somewhere else. And Joe Goodwin, just kind of winging it.
Oh, kind of winging it and being humble into a very, very good weekend for us of picking. 2 of us only lost 2 games. 1 of us went 500, as Joe had mentioned earlier. That would be him. Nick and I tied at 4-2 over the weekend. But the deciding factor is who won more of the fake money that we bet. Some of us bet real money on it. Let's go into this weekend. First game we chose was the Cleveland Browns, who invaded Houston, and they got sent to the pound by C.J. Stroud and Nico Collins. At a plus 114 home dog, the Houston Texans ended up winning that game, of course, and that means Nick and I both won $21.40 off of that game.
And I lost 50 real dollars.
And you lost 10. We all chose Kansas City to beat Miami. That weather was a factor, so we swept that at minus 230. That's 1435 for all of us. Nick and I both chose Pittsburgh to beat Buffalo because we're idiots, and thought that they would have a chance if this game was actually played, where they would have to run the ball. And Joe was the only one smart enough to take Buffalo. But Joe, congratulations on your big $12 right there.
Thanks, buddy.
Minus 500. I was the only one who chose the Packers. And then I had a dream Saturday morning telling you all that I saw the Packers winning. There's text proof. I'm telling you, I had a very, very vivid dream. The Packers were beating the Cowboys straight up. And so it was too late for them to change their. It was too late for Nick and Joe to change their picks, but that's loss number 2 for Nick. Didn't hurt him that much, but it did win me a lot of money at plus 260, the big win of the week. That's $36. I was the solo believer in Matthew Stafford and the Rams, and they almost won that game in Detroit, but Eminem said, no. Give us this one, Matthew. We gave you yours. And the Lions ended up coming out victorious, meaning Nick and Joe both win $16.17 on that. And then we move to the, I don't even know what you want to call it, the Mayfield Mayhem. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers win and play the Detroit Lions. Who would have thought the Lions would have another home game in this postseason?
I'll take playoff games that nobody expected for 500, Alex. The Buccaneers at the Lions.
The Buccaneers ended up winning. Joe was the only one to think Philly had turned it around. Nick and I both chose Tampa Bay correctly, meaning that the big winner of the week, making his comeback, if you want to call it that. Some people wouldn't use that phrase.
Nope.
I won 74-75 on my 4 victories. Nick won 54-92. And Joe, you're still above water at plus 1252 this week, bringing our totals with your $1 left over from last week, $1 and change. Joe in third, 1388. I'm in second with 9511, and Nick has crossed the century mark at 111.43. I kind of want to say that you did this last year too, Nick. I think you crossed the $100 mark first too.
And then
just saying. Went back and turtled up at one point, but I'll have to do some research. But Nick, either way, first one, crossing over the century mark. with our fake $10 bets that you could actually bet for real money, and you could be ahead just 2 weeks into the season, or 2 weeks into the new year, excuse me, plus $100, all combined. Obviously, you can't really combine all of ours, but all of us have been winners so far this season, except for me on week 1. But I made a comeback. So
nobody's.
Did I say 2 weeks?
Nobody's
I
a
meant
loser,
3.
Scoop Con.
Yeah, we are 2 weeks.
Come back.
No, we're 3 weeks. 3 weeks worth of bets in. Excuse me, I lied. We are 3 weeks worth of bets in because we did the Alabama-Michigan one kind of at the end of the season. I was like, I did lose money week 1. So 3 weeks in, still $100 profit. Not bad. But the profit, what did I tell you guys when I won the Switch? Be careful, the profit's back. I started with the year off winning again. So
you never stopped calling yourself that, so I don't think you ever left.
I talked about the profit had a little bit of a bad run.
Like, you can't bring sexy back if it never left. All right.
Well, two very, very enlightening of you to say there, Joe. But we can bring this show back on Saturday morning, right? We're going Saturday morning this week.
Is that what we officially decided?
Sounds like fun.
Let each other chew on these. I thought so because I got hockey that night. I'm calling hockey that night.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, because you get back. Yep, I think we're Saturday AM that we're bringing it back, and we'll have a brand new victory formation segment picking the games of the weekend, and I'll probably do a deep dive and a lot of research on what games we should choose for NFL games.
Good work.
Take a look, decide, guys.
I've
make
already
sure
started.
To thank Colin in some sort of message or comment section or some shit for all the hard work he does picking the NFL games the last couple of weeks.
Difficult choices.
Just so hard. He got so hard.
It was so cold.
It cracked.
Oh, Lord. For Colin Zanker and Joe Goodwin, I'm Nick Archuleta. Thank you to Michael Spillane and everybody over at E5280sports.com for hosting us. We love you guys. We appreciate it. Colin, Joe, enjoy the cold weather. I'll be back on Friday. Love you guys.
It was nice today.
Hey, I wore shorts yesterday walking the dog. It felt like a heat wave at 34.
Oh, I bet.
Who wears shorts? I wear shorts.
Oh, take care. Hey. We love you. See you Saturday.
Reach out if you need help, everybody. Reach out.
Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.
Love you guys. Let the beat maybe drop.
Nope.